contest again, club contest?
Next week and the following week, the 18th and the 25th.
Okay.
All right, ready to get started here. Let's see here. We've all should have gotten prompted to acknowledge that this meeting is being recorded. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, guests and honorary guests. My name is Ray Melendez. I'm going to serve you today as our Sergeant at Arms. We're going to start another awesome meeting. I'll start by asking everybody to do our best to avoid any distraction, phones and anything else you may have around there. Let's continue with our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let's get this show started. Let's pass this meeting out to our president, Shastri Stewart.
Thank you, Ray. Awesome job as always. All right, back to a wonderful meeting. Today is the 11th of January. Fresh new year, fresh new ideas. Hopefully we have an engaging meeting tonight. All right, I'll start off with our mission statement, which states to provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence. Now, we do not have any guests tonight, but we do have two new members, which are not here at the moment, but Denny and Diana joined our club, which helped us to meet one of our goals for our distinguished club. So great job, team. I'll pass the meeting over to our Toastmaster of the day, the one and only Micheline Membard.
Good evening, Toastmasters and honorary Young Green. Well, I do not have to say what this, yes, I do. As Toastmaster today, I serve as a master of ceremonies for the benefit of our guests and new members. We don't have any of those tonight. So Toastmaster, we have 3 speeches. Yay, 3 powerful speeches. I cannot wait. And we have our table topics and evaluation. I will now call on Toastmaster Shastri Stewart to give us the invocation. You're on mute.
Shastri, you still muted her.
You will face many defeats in life, but never let yourself be defeated. I thought that, and that's from Maya Angelou. And I thought that was a great quote to begin the new year. We will have challenges, especially with COVID, and we just have to stay strong, stay positive, keep the social distancing, and if you have the opportunity to take the vaccine, please do. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Stewart. Our theme of the meeting is Change Your World. What are you planning to do for 2021 that will be fruitful in your environment, your surrounding, your family, your job? Just think of that, because those things will definitely impact the world, and it will be very beneficial if there are positive things. So that is the theme of this meeting, and that is the thing that has been on my mind for the last several weeks. What am I going to do that is going to be fruitful to others and also myself? So I just wanted to leave that with you this evening. Please use the chat feature and send private chats to our speakers this evening, sharing 1 to 2 areas that you enjoy and 1 to 2 areas that they could improve. Throughout the meeting, our members have the opportunity to practice their listening, critical thinking, and management skills by serving in various roles. Toastmaster, Woodland, Cassius, please explain the role of our counter.
Toastmaster of the day. The purpose of the odd counter is to know any word or sound used as a crutch by anyone who speaks during the meeting. Words may be inappropriate interjections. Toastmaster of the day.
Yay! Toastmaster Shastri Stewart, please explain your role as grammarian.
Yes, Madam Toastmaster. One benefit of Toastmasters is that it helps people improve their grammar and word use. Being grammarian provides an exercise in expanding listening skills. I have several responsibilities: to introduce new words to members, to comment on the language used during the course of the meeting, and to provide examples of eloquence. Today, our word of the day is inundate, provided by our one and only Michelle. So used in the definition is overwhelm someone with things or people to be dealt with. Used in a sentence, political unrest inundated the country. Madam Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you to Toastmaster Stewart. Toastmaster Susanna Tuladar, please explain your role as timer.
Toastmaster of the day, I'm responsible for monitoring time for each speaker. I operate the timing signal to indicate speech length. Timing begins with the first definite verbal or nonverbal communication with the audience. As the general timer, whomever is speaking and has control of the meeting, please pay attention to the red color behind me, as this means you get to wrap up where you are as quickly, professionally, and efficiently as possible. Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Tuladar. Toastmaster Gary Newberg, please explain your role as general evaluator.
Toastmaster of the day. My job is to inundate you all with feedback. If one thinks of the club as a project, then think of the general evaluator as a quality control manager. I will be commenting on the overall flow of the meeting today and giving feedback. Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Newberg. The first section of our meeting is formal speeches, which are prepared speeches based on specific topics, projects in our Pathways program. This evening, we have 3 powerful speakers. Can't wait. Toastmaster Sonia Garate, please explain the project information for our first speaker.
Gladly. So our first speaker, Shay, is going to be speaking from the Pathways Path Visionary Communication. And her speech length is 5 to 7 minutes. The purpose of this project is for the member to practice skills needed to effectively communicate change to a group. And the purpose of this speech is for the member to practice speaking about change. Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Karate. Timer, please demonstrate the timing signals.
Toastmaster of the day, I'll display the green card at 5 minutes, yellow card at 6 minutes, and red card at 7 minutes. Back to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster. The title of Toastmaster Greaves' speech, Level Up. That caught my attention. It is time to level up in every way. Get ready to take notes, as these nuggets are golden. Let us bring our commitment to each other and the growth of this club to the next level. Toastmaster Shay Greaves.
Thank you, Toastmaster Micheline. Club Wellington, it's time to level up.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Level up, 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 level up. All this on me so yummy, all this sauce so yummy. Know you want this yummy, yummy all in your tummy. Level up, 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 level up.
Now that we're all excited about leveling up, let's dive in for some tools for you, the Toastmaster, you, the mentor, and us as a club entirely. It's time to level up. Let's look first at Toast. As I enlarge the screen, Toast Host is the primary format where we can sign up for roles, where we can also sign up as a speaker. And once you're an active member, you can keep track of what's happening in the meeting. As we scroll down, for example, me, I am speaker number 1 for today. Every time that you sign up for a speech, you have the opportunity to select your exact pathway. Now, usually this is empty. Once you sign up, you would go ahead and collapse all options. It lists every single pathway that we have as an option. So you see dynamic leadership, effective coaching, engaging humor. Well, for me, mine was visionary communication. So you can go ahead and expand that and click your specific path. For me, it was all the way down here for level 4, and that's communicate change. Once you go ahead and select that, it reflects the time frame that you'll be speaking, and then you get to fill in your speech title and then your speech introduction. Now, how does this support you? How does this support the club? So for our Toastmaster of the day, they get to introduce your speech title once you've listed, and you write their words as they introduce you. So your words that you put here is how they will introduce you as a Toastmaster. I don't want to inundate you with too much information, but just pay attention. If you have any questions, your mentor is there to support you, and so am I. Once you fill out all of this information here, go ahead and click save, because if you don't, it will not be reflected on the agenda. And lastly, this evaluation form button, we're going to go back to that later, matches whatever speech level that you select and is reflected on the agenda. Again, it supports your evaluator, the Toastmaster of the day, you and me as the VP of education. And here's how. I'm going to switch to our spreadsheet here. This has a list of every single member in the club, our particular pathway, our particular level, the particular education officer that might reach out to you, and your mentor. If your selection on Toast Host is incorrect, then that makes it harder for me to reflect the appropriate information here and keep track of you. This is not the only way that we can keep track. We can also keep track on pathways, but with pathways, the problem is it only reflects where you are generally. So it doesn't tell me what speech you've done. It just says this person, he or she is on level 1, level 2. And so that's why we need your help to fill this out correctly by doing the correct thing on Toast Host. Okay? Next thing, this is the second tool, our evaluation form. So I said you fill this out correctly. Once you fill this out, the evaluation form will match your speech. Your particular evaluator can pull this up, download it, and fill it out electronically. And once your speech is completed, they'll email it to you. And now we're jumping over to pathways. Here on pathways, once you go to Basecamp, So that's loading for you live. Your mentor will show you how to get into your pathway. But once you get to Basecamp, here in my documents, there's a cloud on Toastmasters for each particular level as you complete it. This is a place where you can upload those PDFs or evaluations from your evaluator and keep track of it. It's proof for you that you've completed this particular speech. As you can see here for level 3, I've uploaded 2 because that's where I started. Toastmasters, I look forward to talking to you again. Please stay at the end of the meeting and we'll go ahead and see how these tools can help you level up as a club and as a Toastmaster.
Toastmaster Shay Greaves, awesome job. That was a great introduction. You covered all of the bases, and that is helpful information. That was golden nuggets. So thank you. Thank you so much. We're moving on to our second speaker this evening. Second speaker, Toastmaster Jack Miller. Please explain the project information for our second speaker.
Yes, thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Our second speaker is Michelle Gonzalez. She's only been with us a short time, but she's been awesome and really hasn't missed a meeting since she joined and is right there with everything. So just a little round of applause for being such a great new member. Her speech tonight is entitled, what was that? Oh, I didn't have it right here.
You can just read her project and I'll do the title.
Retinopathy? Whoops.
You can do the project and
Okay.
I can read the title.
Right, sorry. Her purpose for this project is to present a speech on any topic, receive feedback, and apply the feedback to a second speech. The purpose of this speech is for the member to demonstrate that he or she has applied the feedback received from his or her feedback. Thank you.
Is it 5 to 7?
5 to 7, yes.
Thank you so much. Title of Toastmaster Gonzalez Hill's speech, diabetic retinopathy. This disease is causing blindness and is wreaking havoc amongst persons who are not able to control their high blood sugar or diabetes mellitus type 2. Diabetes does not discriminate. No, it does not. This presentation will give some insight into this preventative eye condition. I cannot wait to hear. Toastmaster Michelle Gonzalez Hills. You're on mute. Take 2.
Take 2. I'm sorry. Based on my last presentation, I would like to ask for the speaker view. Thank you. Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmasters, dignitary, and guest. The year 2020 will be forever encapsulated as the year of COVID-19. But in my specialty, or our specialty, 2020 was going to be the year of the eye, 2020 vision. My speech today will be a succinct description of a common problem within our health sector, which defies any year. I am currently employed in the office of an ophthalmologist for more than 15 years, and we have become passionate about helping our patients understand the nature of the silent thief of sight, diabetic retinopathy, as well as other preventable eye diseases, which I will discuss briefly. But today I want to focus more on diabetic retinopathy. William Shakespeare is credited for this cliche. The eyes are the window to your soul. The book of Matthew in the Bible also alluded to the eye. The eye is a lamp of the body, and if your eyes are healthy, your whole body will be full of light. But if your eyes are unhealthy, your whole body is full of darkness. If I ask any one of you right now, which one of the senses you could survive without, I am sure your sight would be the answer for most of you. For me, I would give up taste or smell in a heartbeat, but not my sight. Think about it for a minute. Your eyes are so very important, a very intricate pair that sit and stare all your waking life, an observer, a sensor, a monitor, an indicator, and of course, a protector with lashes. The organ records and sends messages and pictures to your brain like a master computer. As the organ of sight, the eye has several components. These components include the cornea, the iris, the pupil, the retina, the macula, the optic nerve, the choroid, and the vitreous. But what does your eye open to when your body is diseased? Diabetic retinopathy is the leading cause of blindness among adults. Approximately 25% of current diabetics have some form of this disease. The risk of developing diabetic retinopathy increases with the age of the diabetic person and the duration of the disease. It is estimated that 90% of diabetic may experience some form of retinopathy over the course of their life. However, only a small percentage of those developing diabetic retinopathy have serious vision problems, and even a small percentage become blind. The cause of diabetic retinopathy is not completely understood. However, it is known that diabetes weakens small blood vessels in various areas of the body, including the retina. Unfortunately, the development of diabetic retinopathy cannot be prevented. Though vision may gradually become blurred, significant loss of sight does not usually occur with non-proliferative retinopathy. Since the patient does not experience pain or external symptoms such as bloodshot eyes or discharge, changes in the retina can go unnoticed unless detected by an exam. Today, I would like to impress upon you that if you or anyone you know has diabetes, seek help from an ophthalmologist. There is a difference I would like to point out between this specialist and an optometrist. The ophthalmologist is a professional who examines the back of the eye for medical and systemic problems affecting the eye, such as diabetes, glaucoma, cataract, dry eyes, and a host of other mechanics involving this labyrinth structure of the eye. Whereas the optometrist can prescribe glasses and only deals with the front part of the eye, mainly correcting vision. People who are hypertensive and have diabetes omit these annual exams, and as a result, they inundate our office, and it is far beyond our reach. If diagnosed with diabetic retinopathy, the treatments depend primarily on the location of the disease and the degree of damage to the retina. Prevention is the best medicine. As in all diseases, early detection and management of diabetic retinopathy is important to arrest or slow that development of the more sight-damaging stages of the disease. Even when no symptoms are noticed, the diabetic patient should have frequent eye exams. Non-diabetics should also have their eyes examined periodically. These may include, but not be limited to, dry eye and pterygium. Our office are often inundated again with this particular type of eye disease, dry eyes and pterygia. Now, when we say dry eyes, you may think my eyes are not dry, but yet it is watering and it's gritty. That is a classic case of dry eyes. COVID-19 has brought us to a new norm where we use handheld devices, computers, all the time. The light emanating from these devices can damage the eye. I implore you today to get some much needed love and attention for those two beautiful objects, your eyes. Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Gonzalez Hill. What an education. What an education. Ophthalmology, the difference between ophthalmology and optometrist. I know that very well because I have an eye disease. So thank you for that education. And you're so passionate and it comes through your voice. It comes through your voice. So thank you. It makes everyone just glare in to hear what you have to say. Awesome. Awesome job. Give it up again for Michelle Gonzalez.
Okay, thank you so much.
Moving on to our third speaker this evening. Our third evaluator is Toastmaster Ray Gonzalez. Please explain or provide the project information for our third speaker.
Our third speaker today, thank you, Toastmaster Micheline. Our third speaker today is Connie Andrews. She'll be doing a similar speech on the same pathway as Shay. Pathways, visionary communication, communicate change. The purpose of the project is to practice the skills needed to effectively communicate change to a group or organization. She'll be providing us a 5 to 7 minute speech. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Melendez. Connie's title of her speech, I am late. I am late. I am late. For a very important date. I'm going to say that over because I want to get it right. The title, I am late. I am late for very important date. Time management. Organize and prioritize to increase your productivity or fly by the seat of your pants and whatever happens, because that is just the way you are. This is Connie's second speech, and she is in a hurry to share with you. Toastmaster Connie Andrews.
Good evening, Wellington Toastmasters. Oh my God, I'm late. I'm late. I'm late for a very important date. Do you know that person that always shows up late? Is that any of you? Is it you, Shastri? Is it you, Michelle? Is it you, Shay? And when they finally get there, everybody goes, yay, they're here, right? So what happened? They got all this great attention because they got there late. So is that really helping you reinforce your friend to get there late? Probably does. Look, after the week, all of us, our country has had, I decided to, let's just relax tonight. Let's laugh at ourselves. Let's be truthful about time management and being late for things and preparing and flying by the seat of your pants. And you all know, so if the shoe fits, wear it. So I've heard people say, oh my God, that's just me. That's just the way that I am. My always been there. It's because I'm Italian, I'm late. It's because I'm Jewish, I'm late. It's because I'm Spanish, I'm Hispanics. Hispanics are always late. No, that's not the way it is, but this is what we're always talking about. Excuses, excuses, excuses. So tonight, I want to tell you just, really importantly, I want to keep it light. And I'm not here to give you the answer to time management. Look, procrastination is one of our biggest enemies. All the things that we have to do and that you're tired. When you look at the list, you're so tired, you don't even want to get started because you've got such a long list of things that you have to do. So what do? We procrastinate. And then, you know what we do? Then we find something else to do so that we don't have to do the things that we have to do. Right, Micheline? I know it. I know that you get this. You too, Shastri. And we are all intelligent, professional, successful people, and we all do it. You go to Facebook instead. Oh, let me check my Facebook before I get started. Let me watch this one news thing on Schwarzenegger. Everybody see Schwarzenegger last night? Or maybe you need to clean and you go get that Q-tip that you've been putting off to clean with. And ladies and gentlemen, some of you know what that means. And if you don't, you can ask me later. Showing up early, I'll tell you, showing up early is super stressful. Look, when you get to the front of a house and you're showing up to a party and you're the only car there, you're like, holy crap, is it the wrong date? Am I here on time? Maybe I'm in the wrong neighborhood. It's way too stressful for me personally to show up super early. Then you have deadlines. Perhaps you're the person that works better under pressure. I am. I love working under pressure. I've got a belief in my head that the more pressure I'm under, the better my boss likes my results. So it works out really good to my advantage. Or are you the person that as soon as somebody gives you a task to do, your boss or your husband, you do it right away and you get it done weeks before everybody else did? All right. So I want you to virtually raise your hand. Are you the person that does it immediately? Or are you the person that flies by the seats of your pants and you wait till the last minute because you know that you work better under pressure? All right, very good. And then you have the interruptions. Oh my God, the interruptions. I love the interruptions because then I don't have to do what I'm supposed to be doing. It could be my husband. It could be my lover. It could be my kids. It could be your boss. Or your best friend asks you for a favor and you can't say no to your best friend. So then you got to postpone what you were supposed to be doing. Oh my God. One aspect of time management is allocating time for certain tasks. And that includes hiding. Yes, hiding. Because I know some of you, many of you have hidden in the car. You have hidden in the bathroom. You have hidden under the sheets, under the pillow, so that you don't have to get up to do what you're supposed to be doing. Haven't you, Wellington Toastmasters? Working remotely. How many of you have been working remotely? I have, and I just find that working remotely requires an incredible amount of discipline, but I love it. I work after I empty the dishwasher, after I cut the lawn, after I vacuum, after I clean out the roby, all of that. After I do my hair, then I'll do it. Are you the multitasking procrastinator? Yes, you are. You are the procrastinator.
Be on my chair.
Think about that. My favorite is tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it mañana. 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 The purpose of tonight was to put a smile on your face, laughter in your heart, laugh at yourself. It's okay, because tomorrow there's another chance to be late. I'm late. I'm late for another important date. Oh my, oh my, oh my. Thank you.
Toastmaster Connie Andrews, you always bring life to the meeting. Thank you for your humor. And definitely, I was trying to figure out, am I the one who's the procrastinator? I'm usually not the late person, but I'm the in-between person. I get things done. I try to stick on schedule, but thank you. Thank you for bringing humor to that. May I have a timers report?
I was trying to unmute. I'm timer for the first time, so I need your help. Two
Okay.
of the speakers were a little bit over 7 minutes. So what time would disqualify them?
That's 7 minutes and 31 seconds.
Okay, then they're within time.
Thank you so much. Please, as a reminder, please send a chat, private chat to our speakers with a feedback, 1 to 2 things of complimenting their speeches and 1 to 2 things that they can improve. That will be very helpful for them. So thank you. Also evaluate me, please. I want to get your feedback as well. Thank you. We are moving on to our second part of our meeting. Do we want to do the vote now or wait? I never know when we are doing this. Are we ready to do the vote now, or should I move on?
We can do now, sorry.
You're muted.
Okay, thank you. We are going to do the voting for our formal speeches.
Ending 3, 2, 1.
Okay. Denny, thank you for joining. Glad to see you. We are move on to our second part of our meeting, where it's table topics. Table topics is the section we have impromptu speaking. We are a very intimate group today, so some of our main functionary roles will be called upon. Toastmaster Young Green is our topic master. Toastmaster Young Green, if you can take us through the second part of our meeting.
Certainly, my pleasure, Madam Toastmaster of the evening. Madam Timer, can you please give us the timing requirements? The table topics is from 1 to 2 minutes.
I will display the green card at 1 minute, yellow card at 1 minute 30 seconds, and red card at 2 minutes.
Yes. And you can clap us off at 2 minutes 31 seconds. Thank you. Okay, we are going to change the word. We will make this word a little better place. And it is going to start with us and our relationship with each other. My first question on that note is about friendship. What do you think makes someone a good friend? What do you think makes someone a good friend? Toastmaster Susanna.
Somebody would have to do the timing for me. When I think of a good friend, the first word that comes to my mind is trust. do I have her back or not? Trust would be, what is trust? It's a relationship. It's a two-way street. It doesn't happen overnight. It takes years to build sometimes. And sometimes when you meet the right person, the connection is established right away. But it's the action, it's not the words necessarily. Somebody will say something to you and you build the trust right away. That doesn't happen. It's the little gesture you build on. Sometimes you get that right away from the person. Sometimes you will just experience it. That's what comes to my mind when I think of friendship, trust.
Thank you, Toastmaster Susanna. The second question, let's inundate this word with happy thoughts and joyful attitude. Name 3 things that make you happy and joyful. Name 3 things that make you happy and joyful. I am going to ask our guest, Mr. Lamour. You want to take this? You can unmute yourself and tell us what you think.
Tough one. 3 things that make me happy. If I were to have to sum it up, it would have to be self-care, adventures. And this last one, it has to be better than self-care and adventures, right? It's the last choice. Downtime.
Why?
Yeah. So with those 3, I feel like it covers all aspects and arenas of life and what's needed for you to just live a fulfilling one. Because everyone would like to have something to pursue and to achieve and accomplish. But sometimes just gotta take a breath and just relax, right? Thank you.
Thank you, guest Danny. The next one, the third one, we are going to go to the word. Do you think the world will be better off if we all spoke only one language? Do you think the world will be better off if we all spoke only one language? Mr. Woodlin, our accountant, take it away.
Would the world be better off if we spoke one language? My answer is yes, because we would all know what we're saying. We would have more people to talk to and more connections. Table Topics Master.
Thank you, Woodlin. I have one more. I think we have time for one more. Real quick one. Today's technology allowed us to increase the amount of communication we engage in with others. Today's technology really allowed us to communicate better with others. Do you think the quality of our life increased as a result? Do you think the quality of our life increased as a result? Shastri.
Finally got a question I really wanted to talk about.
Oh.
Well, my answer to that is absolutely not. I do not think in some ways, but I don't think our connections to each other improved, especially with social media and Instagram, which most of the time are not real. They're not real friends. They're not real people. You have all these filters on these things, and they're not authentic. I feel like we've lost our authenticity. I feel like we've lost our genuine connection to each other. A lot of times you drive around in the neighborhood and you see kids on their phone outside. You know, back in the day, it would be on our bicycle, bruising ourselves, playing, you know, all that good stuff. Nowadays, I don't feel like we're doing that. I feel like it's a step back in some ways. It's a step forward, yes, for companies to sell more products. But in regards to us connecting as human beings, I feel in some ways it has been limited. Madam Table Topics Master.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shastri. That is all. Madam Timer, were we all within the time allotted?
Yes, we all are within the time.
Thank you very much. Are we going to vote for the best table topics person?
Not yet.
Not yet? Okay. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster of the evening.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jan Green. We are moving to our third section of the meeting, is evaluations, the gift of instant feedback, a key part of the success of Toastmasters program. Please welcome Toastmaster Gary Newberg as the general evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Micheline. Timer, please could you demonstrate the timing signals for speech evaluations this evening?
General evaluator, I'll display the green card at 2 minutes, yellow card at 2 minutes, 30 seconds, and red card at 3 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Susanna. Our first evaluation this evening will be Toastmaster Sonia providing us with a speech evaluation for Toastmaster Shay. Toastmaster Sonia.
Toastmaster Shay, you have to share that song with me that you started off your speech with. Good evening, Wellington Toastmasters, and especially Toastmaster Shay. What a wonderful introduction to your speech tonight, Level Up. Never heard the song, but it had lots of energy and it got me to pay attention to what you were about to say. Wonderful intro. The purpose of your speech was to communicate change to a group. And I think it was very appropriate how you took that topic and you showed us specifically how to sign up for a speech and also some of the back end of what happens. So it made sense with your topic tonight. And also I really appreciated how you repeated your speech title as you spoke, level up, let's level up. So it stuck in my head. One other great moment in your speech was you, I believe, spontaneously incorporated our word of the day as you were speaking. And you were also very vulnerable by displaying your progress on Pathways and going through it and showing everyone where you were at and giving a clear example. One aspect I would ask you to think about for a future speech is when you pulled up the spreadsheet and displayed the club members, it did have some personal information there, such as name, address, and whatever other notes that you had put. And maybe some of our club members may have been uncomfortable, may have been surprised to see that displayed during the speech. The information that you gave was appropriate for the audience, and you're obviously very enthusiastic about this topic. I believe that you accomplished your goal tonight, and you definitely gave us a good beginning, and you showed all of us, even the experienced Toastmasters, what we should be doing every week, and especially for our new members, where they have to strive to be. So wonderful speech, Shay, and congratulations. General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sonia. It was a great evaluation of Shay's speech. Our next evaluator is Toastmaster Jack, and he will be providing us with the evaluation for Toastmaster Michelle. Toastmaster Jack.
First, let me say, Michelle, it's an honor to be able to evaluate you. I thought your level of knowledge, the way you came out and asked us, about how we see, what we see, and that one statement you opened up with, the silent theft of sight, diabetic retinopathy. That was powerful. That's a whole title in itself. That silent thief of sight, that it sneaks up on you, as so many things do. You don't know that they're happening, and all of a sudden it's gone. You help to bring that forward. You described sight in the biblical era and brought, some of the importance that it's had in history. Where I found it a little difficult was your level of speech was always the same, but you gave us so much powerful information, it was almost too much. I think if you could find a story and tell a little bit of one of the beautiful stories I'm sure you know about, and give us a little bit of information on the visuals behind you, your speech could be just absolutely awesome. You could do a TED Talk on it. You have the knowledge and the ability, but your delivery needs to be a little more fun, a little less scientific. And your personality comes across in everything. It's just a loving, caring, honest person that people can believe, but they can't understand when you give us so much information, or maybe it's my limited brain can't understand it all. But I have a tendency to do the same thing. I talk a little too much about the story and don't make it as colorful as I could so people stay focused on what you have to say. You just inundated us with facts and information, and that was the thing I want you to take away the most, is that we don't need as much information as you have in your head. What we need is that heart of yours, that caring, that grandmotherly love that we're all looking for, even at my age. So I really think what you've got is something beautiful, as you expressed in the end of your quote, that the most beautiful thing are the love in your two eyes, and everything you see with it, everything you do with them, appreciate them and be grateful. You really help to see that sight of all sorts is one of our greatest gifts. You help change our lives. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jack, for that thorough evaluation. Our third and final evaluation for this evening is Toastmaster Ray Melendez evaluating the speech for Toastmaster Connie. Toastmaster Ray, you're on mute.
Thank you, Toastmaster Gary. Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters, and especially Connie, thank you for delivering a great speech. I really enjoyed the speech you gave. At the beginning of this meeting, which was when I read the title, I'm late for a very important date, I immediately started to imagine in my own head how many dates of myself I had been late for, whether it's here, personal, or at work. This was even prior to you speaking. So the title itself caught my attention. It basically got me engaged to start imagining, using my imagination. During the speak, once again, you were able to you spoke about the topic that everybody most likely in this meeting is able to associate with. You talked about how a number of us go through and how we sometimes even procrastinate. How we would hide in the car, under the sheets, that's me, and even in the bathroom. I doubt very much that there was one person in here that was not able to associate with the topic on your speech here about being late. So you kept the audience engaged during this. I really enjoyed the hand gestures, even you pulling out your phone on there. It actually showed, and kept everybody's eyes on you. I think you used multiple tones throughout this. I've noticed you used multiple tones out throughout the speech. So overall, it was very, very good. Areas that I saw that could probably use a little bit of help would be probably, and this is something that I actually noticed myself when I do my own speeches, is taking a step back on here. You used several times hand gestures, and you used it actually throughout the whole speech, but sometimes they're always getting cut off on there. So I noticed, like I said, several times that as you were moving left and right, I was engaged, but I noticed sometimes we did see your hands get cut off on there. So what I've been trying, and I've actually been trying to do myself, is just take a step back from the actual camera. And the other area that I saw was just that I noticed quite a bit that you were looking down frequently on there sometimes during certain parts of the speech. I think that's just a matter of just going about and prepping overall for it. But I think overall you did a great speech today, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ray. Great job. Well, in moving on to the next section of the meeting, which is the General Evaluator's report, I will give the grammarian and the R counter just a minute to wrap up their reports so that they're aware I'll be calling on them. Toastmaster Ray, are we ready to vote? Well, just before we get to the voting, timer, please could you confirm whether all the speech evaluations were within time?
Yes, all the evaluators were within time.
Thank you, Toastmaster Susanna. Toastmaster Ray, are we ready to vote for table topics and evaluations?
General Evaluator, we are ready.
Great. Do you want to launch that? Thank you.
Ending polls. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ray. Toastmaster Shastri, are you ready with the grammarian's report?
Yes, General Evaluator, Gary, I am. All right, our word of the day was inundate, and the word of the day was used a total of 4 times during the meeting. Awkward uses or misuse of language. A lot of times we didn't put the in front of our word. Also, we said gonna instead of going to a lot, and some fragmented sentences that we used. Someone said a little better. Made this world a little better. It was just kind of funky. I didn't really thought that phrase really rang well. During the speak should have been during the speech, and on your speech should be about your speech. Instead of saying on your speech, it should have been about your speech. So those are a few grammatical errors that I found, but I did get inundated with a lot of notable phrases. So especially Michelle said, and Jack already covered this, a silent thief of sight, which I just thought was a very, very clever way of constructing that statement. Also, she stated, eyes are the windows to the soul, and eyes are the lamp of the body, which I thought were powerful, powerful statements. Also, Michelle said very intricate pair and a protector with lashes, which was very, very clever use of words. And someone else said, way to be stressful to show up early. That was Connie. So she said, it's way too stressful to show up early. And my favorite is tomorrow. And one of our table topics participants said, take a breath and relax. That concludes my grammarian report, general evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shastri. Toastmaster Woodland, can you give us the R counters report for tonight?
General evaluator, the total number of foods used by the club today is 21. The most fillers used by a member was and, which was used 7 times today. The following Toastmasters did not use any filler words during the meeting: Sujana, Hian, and Shastri. And that concludes my counter report, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Woodland. Great job on the R counters for us tonight. On with the General Evaluator's report for the evening. The meeting started on time. Great job. I think we're getting much better at that. There weren't any guests this evening, but Toastmaster Hian was acknowledged as our dignitary. Toastmaster Micheline did a great job in leading us all in applause. The meeting roles were explained before we got started with the 3 formal sections of the meeting. The transitions between the speeches were smooth. The project information was there and the introductions. So good job with everyone doing that. The meeting looks like it'll end on time if I hurry up. The table topics, Hyun did a good job with that. The theme was stated. The topics were appropriate for the audience. The audience were called on in an appropriate order. Toastmaster Hyun mentioned the topic twice before calling on the members. So that's always great to do that. The 3 speech evaluators all did a very good job covering some positives and some areas for improvement on the speeches. The functionary roles also well done to the timer, the grammarian, and the R counter. I do object to the inundation from Shastri. I'm sure we heard it way more than 4 times, but we'll give you some grace for that. We know you were inundated with the word of the day today. This concludes my general evaluation report, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, Gary. That was funny. We did the voting. Yes, we did the voting. Are we ready to publish our winners this evening?
We are ready. In first place for formal speakers. Drum roll. Connie Andrews. And in first place for our evaluator, who goes to, sorry, my vision is not doing good. Sonia Garate. And In first place for table topics, Mr. Shastri Stewart, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, Ray Melendez. Now it comes to the end of the meeting and I will pass it on to Toastmaster Shastri Stewart. But before, I want to say a special thank you for this team. Thank you for stepping up and signing up for the roles. It's very stressful for a Toastmaster of the Day to get people to sign up. So thank you all for chipping in. Thank you for the leaders of the group for helping to get people to sign up. So thank you. And now I pass the meeting on to Toastmaster Shastri Stewart, our president.
Thank you, Micheline, for doing an awesome job as always, and always stepping up, to the plate and leading and being Toastmaster today. You did a wonderful job. Also, thank you all, as Micheline said, for filling out all the agendas, the roles. I appreciate you. All right, I have a few announcements, but before I do, Shay, you want to go ahead and do your advertisement?
Yes. So just a reminder, after our meeting, just 15 minutes, if you can hang on, hopefully just shorter. I just want to check in for the education committee and just make sure I have your appropriate pathway and your appropriate level. Secondly, we do have 2 contests coming up. And I want to let you know, our qualifying members, I want to challenge you guys to go ahead and sign up. So we have Connie is qualifying, Shay, that's me, Justin, Stacy, Jack, Micheline, Gary, Sujana, Shastri. So if you can go ahead and sign up to participate, the first contest is our international speech contest, which is next week. And the next contest is our table topics contest. We have no one signed up. So we're looking for a total of 6 contestants for our, maybe not 6, maybe 4 or 5 for our international, and then maybe like 6 for our table topics. So I want you to think about that.
Shay?
All right.
Oh, and Heon as well. Yes.
I cannot compete.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Are there qualifications to compete in table topics? No.
I don't. So I have to read so the qualifying list that I read for was for international speech contest. Correct. So I just want to correct that. But for the table topics, I haven't read that yet. So there's no.
Ayan, I can come back to you with that, and also I can make the announcement to the club once I confirm that.
I believe there are no qualifications, which means any new member can also compete in table topics. I wanted to, yes, please confirm for me, Sonia. Thank you.
And that wraps up. So that wraps up my my little announcement, Shastri.
All right. Thank you, Shay. And as Shay stated, January 18th is our international contest, and January 25th is our table topics. Shay will be our contest chief judge, I believe, for the international contest, and then Sonia will be our chief judge for the 25th. We will have our area contest, which is whoever wins our club contest will go to this area contest, which is on the 20th of February, which is a Saturday. It's at 1 p.m. via Zoom. All right. In regards to education, as she had stated, there are certain goals that we have to meet in order for us to maintain our distinguished status. Right now, we've met 4 goals. We need to be at 5 to be distinguished. And a lot of that has to do with our pathways and our levels. Just make sure that we're completing these. I know that I've seen a lot of people do speeches, but I don't see it translate into our awards. So just make sure whenever you give a speech that you go in pathway and you complete it so that Shay could actually submit that information to Toastmasters International. Very, very important. And if you've done it before and you can't remember, you could probably backdate and look at the agenda and go back and complete it. All right. Lastly, I'd like for all of you to send Stacy a nice warm text, especially on Wednesday because her husband will be doing a procedure. I just want her to get an overwhelming support from her Wellington family. So if you all could send her a text on Wednesday morning to just support her, I'd really appreciate that. And that concludes, we are 8:05, and that concludes our meeting. I adjourn the meeting.
Okay, don't leave just yet. This is the portion